Have you ever walked into a room and felt something change before anyone said a word? No one is yelling, no one is crying. Everyone looks normal, but the air feels slightly wrong. Someone laughs, and you can hear that it is not a relaxed laugh. Someone says, "I'm fine," and you can feel the sentence carrying something heavier underneath it. Before anyone else notices anything, your mind has already started scanning the room. Who suddenly got quiet? Who avoided eye contact? Who is smiling too hard? Who changed their tone? This video is about people who can read the room too well. We will call this pattern the social weather sense. It is not a formal diagnosis, and it is not an official psychological term. It is simply a way to describe a mind that detects emotional atmosphere almost like weather. For some people, the mood in a room is not background information. It is the first thing they notice. They hear hesitation inside a voice. They see tension inside a smile. They feel the weight of silence before anyone explains what happened. Other people may say, "You're overthinking it," but for them, the shift feels obvious. The difficult part is that this ability can look like intuition while feeling like exhaustion, because reading the room is not always a gift that came from curiosity. Sometimes, it is a survival pattern that began with the need to feel safe. If you grew up around unpredictable moods, your brain may have learned to watch closely. A heavier footstep, a sharper voice, a door closing differently, these details may have mattered. Your nervous system may have learned that emotional changes were early warning signs. So now, even in ordinary adult life, your attention moves toward the smallest social signals. This is related to hypervigilance, a state of being highly alert to possible threat or change. In everyday terms, it can feel like your mind is always checking the emotional temperature. It may also connect to attentional bias, where the brain gives priority to certain kinds of information. If your brain learned that moods were important, it may keep searching for mood changes first. That does not mean something is wrong with you. It means the brain is an excellent learner, especially when safety once depended on noticing details. For someone with the social weather sense, a room is never just a room. It is a living map of tone, posture, silence, facial expression, and emotional pressure. Other people hear the words. You hear what happens around the words. Other people see a smile. You may notice the tightness behind it. This can also involve emotional contagion, the way human beings absorb and mirror each other's emotions. Some people do not just observe tension, they feel it in their own body. Someone else becomes uncomfortable, and suddenly your shoulders tighten. Someone else seems disappointed, and your stomach reacts before your mind has a full explanation. This is why reading the room can become so draining. You're not only seeing the weather, you may start believing you have to change the weather. If someone seems upset, your mind may immediately ask, "Was it me?" Then it asks, "Should I fix it? Should I say something? Should I become easier to be around?" Many people who read the room too well become emotional managers without realizing it. They soften their tone, they smooth over silence, they make jokes to release tension. They explain themselves before being misunderstood. They reduce their own needs so the room can stay peaceful. From the outside, this may look like kindness, maturity, or social intelligence. But inside, it can feel like running several invisible programs at once. You're listening to the conversation, reading faces, predicting reactions, and monitoring your own behavior. You are trying to stay connected while also trying not to become the problem. So when socializing leaves you exhausted, it may not mean you dislike people. It may mean your nervous system has been working much harder than anyone can see. You were not just talking, you were tracking the room. You were not just present, you were quietly protecting the emotional balance. And this is where the pattern becomes painful. Because being able to sense someone's mood does not mean you are responsible for it. You may truly notice that someone is upset. Your intuition may not be imaginary. Your body may be picking up real signals from tone, timing, posture, or expression. But "I noticed it" does not mean I caused it. And "I can feel it" does not mean I must fix it. A lot of suffering comes from the responsibility that attaches itself to perception. Sensitivity is one thing. Taking ownership of every emotional shift is another. The social weather sense becomes healthier when there is a pause between noticing and reacting. That pause might sound like this: "I notice tension, but I do not yet know what it means." Or, "I can feel a change, but I do not have to make it about me immediately. This is not about becoming cold or detached. It is about giving your nervous system permission to gather information without entering emergency mode. One helpful question is, what did I actually observe? Not what did I imagine, not what did I fear, what did I directly notice? Maybe the person spoke less, maybe their tone changed, maybe they looked away. Then ask, am I responding to this moment or to an older pattern? Sometimes your body reacts to the present through the memory of past rooms. A quiet person now may remind your nervous system of an angry person then. A short reply now may feel like rejection because long ago, silence meant danger. This does not make your reaction fake. It simply means your brain may be using old maps to understand new places. The third question is, even if something is wrong, is it mine to solve? This question can feel uncomfortable if you are used to being the emotional repair person. But it is also where freedom begins. Someone can be disappointed without you becoming guilty. Someone can be quiet without you becoming responsible. Someone can have a mood without your nervous system turning it into a mission. When you enter a room and feel the atmosphere shift, try returning to your body first. Feel your feet, relax your jaw, let your shoulders drop even a little. Before you read the room, remember that you are also inside the room. You are not just an observer, you are a person with your own inner state. You can silently name what is happening without rushing to fix it. There is some tension here. I do not know the full story yet. I can stay calm without taking control. These small phrases turn danger into information. They remind the brain that not every emotional cloud is a storm you must prevent. Over time, you can start changing your role. You do not have to be the room's weather reporter. You do not have to be the repair person for every uncomfortable silence. You can be perceptive without being consumed. You can be caring without absorbing everyone else's feelings. You can notice the room and still stay connected to yourself. This matters because your sensitivity may have protected you before. It may have helped you survive confusing people, unpredictable homes, or relationships where small signs mattered. It may have made you thoughtful, considerate, emotionally intelligent, and deeply aware. But the same pattern that once protected you can become too heavy when it never turns off. A radar that never rests eventually mistakes quiet for danger. A heart that always adjusts eventually forgets what it wants. And a person who always reads the room may forget they are allowed to simply be in it. So the goal is not to destroy the social weather sense. The goal is to let it mature. Instead of being an alarm, it can become wisdom. Instead of making you responsible for every shift, it can help you respond with clarity. Instead of pulling you out of yourself, it can help you understand others while staying grounded. You may always notice things other people miss. You may still hear the emotion behind the sentence. You may still feel the pressure in the room before anyone names it. But one day there may be a softer space between the signal and your response. In that space, you can choose. You can care without rescuing. You can sense without absorbing. You can understand without disappearing. And when the room feels heavy, you can gently remind yourself, I can feel the weather, but I do not have to carry the sky.